Street Stories NYC. Street Stories NYC. Street Stories NYC. Hey, it's your boy Michael Knight here, the New York Cowboy. I'm bringing you another episode from the Street Stories NYC series. Our story today is taken from the Ambulance Tales. It's called Vanessa, the Paramedic. Vanessa desperately tried to stop the bleeding as the ambulance rounded the corner at high speed. She screamed to her partner Bill, "You'd better slow down on those curves or we're gonna lose her!" They hit a large bump in the road a couple of blocks from the hospital, and Vanessa hung on tightly to the patient. The woman on the gurney had been stabbed, allegedly by her ex-husband at her wedding. He had stabbed her 12 times with a butcher knife before anyone could stop him. She was barely conscious and bleeding profusely. When Bill and Vanessa got her into the ambulance, they had controlled the bleeding the best that they could. She was going to need a lot of stitches and some plastic surgery where her face was sliced wide open. Each bump and turn kept Vanessa working while Bill blasted the siren and tried to move traffic to get her to the hospital. Vanessa's mind drifted off to the time she was in almost the same situation. She had had 183 stitches on her body now because of her jealous ex-boyfriend Ricardo, and she remembered her ride to Jamaica Hospital in Queens as she went in and out of consciousness. That was the incident that pushed her to start working as an ambulance attendant. Those people worked very hard to save her life, and now she was doing the same for other people. Vanessa had no love life anymore. She was basically through with men. Everyone that she met seemed to be jealous, controlling, and abusive. She was a very pretty girl before her face was disfigured, and she was the kind of girl that spoke to everyone. All of her men didn't seem to like that quality in her. She was as faithful as a woman could be, but men always mistook her friendliness for promiscuity. She had gotten an order of protection, but it seems that the men have to hurt you before anything can be done. Even the new stalking laws didn't help her. He found her and cut her and left her for dead until a neighbor called the police. She and Bill arrived at the hospital, and the attending physician took a look at the girl, and he smiled at Vanessa and said, "You guys did a great job. You probably saved her life." Vanessa squeezed the girl's hand as she was wheeled into the OR, and Vanessa felt a feeling of satisfaction deep inside of herself. That was the last call for the day, and Bill told Vanessa that he'd see her in the morning. She drove home and got inside of her small apartment and warmed up a TV dinner. She looked at the large pile of mail that she had on the table, and one envelope seemed to stick out more than the others. It was the letter from the DA's office, letting her know that Ricardo had been released from prison. It seemed like the years went so quickly, and her face and her body were barely healed. And this devil was out of prison already, she thought. Vanessa had moved from Manhattan to Queens, and Ricardo was warned that any attempt at contacting her would land him back in jail for an even longer time. Vanessa fell asleep that night, gritting her teeth, reliving the nightmare of being stabbed and sliced so many times. She dozed off with tears on her pillow. Vanessa was out bright and early, and she and Bill headed out on their first call. A little boy had gotten hit by a car, but he was more scared than hurt. His mom rode in the ambulance with the child and Vanessa, and they tried to cheer him up. He actually stopped crying and was telling Vanessa about his friends in school by the time that they got out of the ambulance. It was basically a quiet day, and she and Bill didn't get their next call until after lunch. The call was about a domestic violence disturbance. Vanessa jumped out of the truck and took her equipment inside, and she was stunned when she got inside. Lying on the floor was Ricardo in a pool of blood. Apparently, he was beating his current girlfriend, and she pulled out her licensed revolver and shot him in the throat. Bill called to her from the floor. "What's up, girl? Come on and get to work." Vanessa caught herself and snapped out of it, and they got him bandaged and into the ambulance. A female police officer rode with them going to the hospital. During the ride, Ricardo opened his eyes, and a look of horror came over him. He recognized Vanessa, and his breathing became irregular, and because his wound was so close to his windpipe, Vanessa shouted out, "I'm going to have to put a tube in his throat. I think he's drowning in his own blood." She told the police officer to hold him down as he began to fight violently to get up. Vanessa looked him in the eyes with a look that could kill and told him, "Try to relax, sir. This may be a little uncomfortable, but we're only trying to help you." "Why is he fighting so hard?" the officer asked. "Oh, he's in shock. He doesn't know what he's doing," Vanessa responded. Vanessa gave a quick glance to the road in front of the truck, and she recognized the area. There was a large speed bump about 2 blocks before the hospital. She timed putting the tube in perfectly, and as the truck bounced in the air and everyone in the truck stumbled to hold on, she rammed the tube down his throat, ripping the passage open. She cried out, "Bill, oh my God, I think we're losing him." Ricardo gave her a pitiful, begging look before they rushed him into the hospital. Ricardo didn't make it, and the coroner ruled that it was due to his severe injuries. The small tear in his windpipe was blamed on the bullet, and the ambulance workers were cleared of any malpractice. The officer that worked the case when Vanessa got stabbed called her about a month later. He told her that he found out that she was the one that worked on him on the way to the hospital. He told her that that was probably very unethical. She vehemently denied knowing that it was him. She said that he was covered in blood and she never even knew that it was him. She told him that she would have passed it off to her partner had she known. She assured him that she did her very best to keep him alive and to save him. The officer told her that whatever did really happen out there that day, he hopes that she can sleep okay at night. She told him, "I've never slept better in my life." Hey, well, that's our edition this week of Street Stories NYC Ambulance Tales, Vanessa the Paramedic. Tune in again and check out our next episode of Street Stories NYC. Go to the website, thenewyorkcowboy.com or streetstoriesnyc.com. Peace.